Namaste, you are listening to Manav Parichay, Introduction to Humanity. Today you will witness the power of an idea, how Firdausi's logic was not limited to her home's kitchen, but brought about a historic change in the country's law. Judge Harish Chandra returns from court and gives an amazing piece of news. Approval of the law. Following Firdausi's advice, the government has passed a new act. Now, a boy marrying into a different community will be legally obliged to accept the girl's religion, which will curb deceit and trickery, and the basis of marriage will only be true love. Knowledge of the fetus. Harish Chandra ji praises Firdausi's advanced mind and, seeing the baby's movement, calls it an exceptionally talented child, like Abhimanyu, because the mother's good thoughts are giving it good values. Here Firdaus is immersed in her husband's heavenly embrace, experiencing immense pleasure. And there, in prison, mountains of sorrow are breaking upon Nasir. Nasir thinks, why did his prayers yield no result? Why was his youth wasted in jail? Why couldn't he serve his ailing Abba? The penalty of fanaticism. When he learns about the new law, his plan for a pseudo-marriage collapses. Nasir now begins to curse those who gave him the wrong motivation. Rebellion and downfall. In deep despair, Nasir rebels against God himself. I swear that from now on, I will never pray. Then, another tragic news arrives, the passing of Abba Huzur. The lawyer goes to seek bail for Nasir, hopeless, because Nasir had committed a crime while on parole. But what verdict does Judge Harish Chandra, the same Firdausi's husband, deliver? This court cannot become an obstacle in the path of a son's respect and duty towards his father. Will Harish Chandra's unique generosity make Nasir realize who true humans are, and what love is? Listen to this decisive chapter of the decline of hatred and the victory of humanity, in Manav Parichay. You will hear Episode 8, The Approval of the Law and Nasir's Downfall. Now Firdausi's wound has completely healed, but as she has entered the 7th month of pregnancy, Firdaus has postponed going to court. She has handed over her cases to another advocate. 3 days later, returning from court, Harish Chandra ji told Firdaus,
You said this on our first night, didn't you? That, in our constitution, a provision should be made that when a boy and girl of two different communities decide to marry, the boy should be legally obligated to accept the girl's religion. I then recommended this matter to legal experts and the government.
Having said this, Harish Chandra paused. He looked at Firdaus lovingly. Firdaus was eager to hear what her husband was about to announce. Understanding this, Harish Chandra ji continued.
Firdaus, you will be happy to know that the government has passed a new act. It mandates strict punishment for any boy who marries a girl under false pretenses about his religion. Moreover, for marriage across different communities, as per your idea, the boy will now be obligated to accept the girl's religion. Hearing this, Firdaus's joy reached its peak. Then Harish Chandra ji said, Wow, Firdaus, what an advanced mind you have. The idea that originated in your mind has been passed in both houses of parliament.
Controlling her excitement, Firdaus patiently said, Ji, my joy is not because my suggestion found a place in the law. The reason for my joy is that this will stop hatred at its root. Actually, marriages across communities currently being done are less for the idea of conjugal happiness, and more due to the wrong motivation of radical people to increase the number of followers of their religion. Sadly, girls are often deceived in this. By making this provision, now, the boy will have to change his religion, not the girl. This will reduce the possibility of deception and trickery upon the girl. With this legal provision in place, the basis for inter-community marriages from now on can only be true love. As Firdaus said this, she felt a movement in her womb. It was as if the 7-month-old fetus was applauding its mother's statement. Image of a fetus in the womb. Firdaus felt this and placed her husband's hand on her belly. Harish Chandra ji, feeling the movements of their child, said,
Perhaps you have read the story of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu gained the complex knowledge of entering the Chakravyuha while he was in his mother's womb. Indeed, it is true that every infant starts acquiring values while still in the womb. Therefore, to ensure a good foundation of knowledge and values for the child, the pregnant mother should read, see, speak, and think good thoughts and things. After a pause, he continued, Firdaus, the way you are navigating your pregnancy period. I can say that this child of ours, who will be born soon, will be exceptionally talented.
Hearing compliments from her husband on various things has now become Firdaus's habit. Firdaus would blush at such compliments. At such times, a pink glow would settle upon Firdaus's face. Just as Firdas likes hearing her praise from her husband's lips, Harishchandraji finds his wife Firdas's face pink with shyness, enchanting. Harishchandraji took advantage of this moment and carefully wrapped Firdas in his embrace. For Firdas, her husband's embrace is a more beautiful place than heaven. In Harishchandraji's embrace, she is lost in her blissful sensations. Here Firdas is receiving pleasure after pleasure. Simultaneously, her husband Harishchandra is experiencing immense pleasure from Firdas's company. Meanwhile, in the prison, mountains of sorrow are breaking upon Nasir, her former husband who lost Firdas by giving triple talaq. Around this same time, Nasir is asking himself why, despite regularly performing the 5 daily prayers, happiness has been absent from his life for more than 2 years. He has been deprived of the happiness of having a wife. Also, he has been forced to waste the prime of his life, considered the best, in jail. Because of his incarceration, the income from his car servicing workshop has been reduced to a quarter. Abba has become seriously ill. He is unable to be present for his treatment. His steps taken to serve his faith have failed. Not only that, the case of the fatal attack he attempted on Firdas is now before Firdas's own husband's court. Who knows how harsh a sentence this judge will give him? If he is given a severe sentence and has to stay in jail for another 4 to 6 years, what will remain of his life after his release? Just today, he heard the prisoners discussing the new law, in which it has been made mandatory for the boy to change his religion for inter-community marriage. Hearing this, he began to realize that his plan to marry a kafir girl by becoming pseudo Yogesh would now fall apart. In the deep despair arising from all these thoughts, he has now started cursing those whose words, through wrong inspiration, led him to attempt to kill Firdas's unborn child. He is still immersed in this mental depression when a guard comes and tells him,
"Your lawyer has come to meet you."
Then he was taken to meet the lawyer. There the lawyer informed him,
I regret to inform you, your Abba Huzur has passed away.
Hearing this, Nasir began to weep uncontrollably. Weeping, he muttered,
For Abba Huzur, who sacrificed the happiness of his life for me, I could do nothing for his life. Will there be anyone else in the world as unfortunate a son as me?
The lawyer took Nasir's signature on applications for bail and custody parole from the court for his release from jail at the time of his Abba's burial the next day. Then he asked the lawyer,
Do you think that wicked judge will accept my bail?
The lawyer informed him, you committed a crime while on parole. Therefore, the possibility is low that your bail and parole will be granted. Nevertheless, we must try, as it is a question of burying your father.
Saying this, the lawyer left. The succeeding mountains of sorrow made Nasir rebellious. He thought his regular prayer was futile. Following this thought, he said to himself,
I swear that from now on, I will never pray.
The next day he was taken to court. His case was heard first. On this, Judge Harishchandra said,
This court cannot become an obstacle in the path of a son's respect and duty towards his father. Harishchandraji granted his conditional bail.
Then, being led directly toward the cemetery, he could not believe that Firdas's husband, this judge, could be so generous to him. Now listen to the review, critique, and guidance written by Gemini on this episode of Manav Parichay. Subtitle: The Approval of the Law and Nasir's Downfall. This episode parallels the intellectual ascension of the protagonist with the moral decline of the antagonist. Firdas's idea becoming a national law validates her foresight, while Nasir's personal tragedies push him into a moral void. 1. Firdas's intellectual victory and social reform. Firdas's suggestion that in inter-community marriage, the boy must adopt the girl's religion is not just a proposal, but a direct strike at the root of fanaticism. This law paves the way for true love and marriage free from deceit, as the likelihood of false love diminishes. The fetus applauding Firdas's statement places a miraculous seal on the purity and humanity of this idea. Pregnancy and values. Harishchandra's example of Abhimanyu shows that Firdas's positive thinking and high ideals are laying the foundation for her unborn child's values, which is essential for a healthy society. 2. Nasir's tragic downfall. Nasir's character transitions from an arrogant avenger to a tragic victim. He blames God and circumstances for his failures, whereas his own inhumane act, the attack on the fetus, is the real cause of his distress. The breaking of final faith, the death of his father and the news of the new law destroy all his vengeful and pseudo-Yogesh plans. At the peak of despair, he abandons prayer, symbolizing his descent into a spiritual void. 3. Harishchandra's vision of justice. Harishchandra's granting of conditional bail to Nasir demonstrates the highest principle of justice. It is humanity, not retribution. Harishchandra judges not by Nasir's crime, but by a son's duty. Nasir's inability to understand why Firdausa's husband is generous to him shows that he has still not emerged from the blindfold of hatred and fanaticism. Conclusion: Firdausa's humanitarian idea triumphs, while Nasir's fanatical thinking leaves him defeated and alone in every aspect of life. This story establishes the power of law and love over the destruction of hatred and superstition. Episode 8 ends.